In the summer, Tidmouth plays host to the annual pony show, the Gymkhana. The Fat Controller came to see Edward about the arrangements for the show.
"I'd like you to collect the equipment for the Gymkhana from Corvin's Gate,"
he told Edward. "I'd be glad to, sir," Edward said happily, and steamed off at once. Sir Handel was not best pleased to be taking trucks. "Silly things," he grumbled. "Why can't Peter Sam do it?"
"The Fat Controller wants you to collect the equipment," the driver told him firmly. "Not Peter Sam."
Edward arrived and began telling Sir Handel exactly what he'd need for the Gymkhana, but Sir Handel was so flustered and cross that he didn't want to listen. "We'll need poles, cones, and—" "I know what to do, Edward," Sir Handel interrupted, and he fussed out of the station before Edward could finish. The lady delivering the equipment for the Gymkhana was supposed to meet Sir Handel at the station close to the riding school, but she was running late and wasn't there when Sir Handel arrived. Must be further on, he thought. So Sir Handel passed through the station near the riding school and puffed into the wharf instead. There he found a group of men standing with a great pile of boxes between the rails and the quayside. "Peep, peep, I've come to collect the things for the show," Sir Handel blustered. "Please load them quickly." The men were confused. "We thought this lot was going by boat," they murmured to each other, but they did as they were asked and loaded the trucks quickly with the mysterious load. And before long, Sir Handel was bustling back to Corvin's Gate to meet Edward and transfer the goods. Edward returned to Tidmouth and the boxes were taken to the Gymkhana field for the show. But it wasn't long before the Fat Controller's telephone rang.
"I say, my good man, what use of potted plants for show jumping?"
shouted the organiser of the Gymkhana. No sooner had he promised to look into the problem than it rang again.
"Our prize potted plants didn't arrive at the flower show on the mainland,"
sighed the owner of the garden centre.
"Do you know what's happened to them?"
The Fat Controller sighed.
I think I might have a rough idea."
When Edward heard what had happened, he went to find Sir Handel at once. "You've been very careless. You picked up the wrong delivery." Sir Handel was confused. "It's you who got it wrong. They weren't at the station at all. They were at the wharf." "They were at the station by the riding school," said the station master. "And they still are, Sir Handel. You were so impatient you didn't stop in the right place. The potted plants went to the Gymkhana by mistake. The Fat Controller will speak to you later." "Oh dear," spluttered Sir Handel. "What will we do now?" "There's no time to collect the equipment and deliver it now," sighed Edward. "They'll miss the start of the show." "But I think I know what to do." He hurried off back to Tidmouth and found the Fat Controller and the organiser of the Gymkhana arguing on the platform. Edward blew his whistle and they both stopped to look at him. "I think I might have a solution," he told them, and explained his plan. The Gymkhana organiser listened and agreed it would work. Soon, the children arrived with their ponies and were amazed when they saw the colourful show ring. Pretty potted plants stood in rows, with garden rakes above them to make show jumps, and pots of conifer bushes were laid out to play Gymkhana games. The Sodor Times newspaper came to take photos, and the day was a great success. When it was over, the owner of the garden centre presented the children with rosettes and prizes. Stefan and Bridget, the Fat Controller's grandchildren, helped the garden centre owner to set up a stall so he could sell his plants. Everything was sold except for one bush, which was eaten by a hungry pony. The organiser of the Gymkhana thanked the Fat Controller. "Oh, this has been a day to remember," she laughed. The owner of the garden centre thanked him too. "I've sold more plants today than I ever would have at the flower show on the mainland." Then the Fat Controller thanked Edward. "You've been a really useful engine," he smiled. "And to think," Edward chuckled, "it was only because Sir Handel was a really careless one."